Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, we have a special treat for us today. We have a co-host. Everybody say hello to, you know where you love her? Chandra Nalar. I figured it was only fitting to bring her out. By the way, that's courtesy of the fine folks up there at the Gamers Hall. They were able to acquire that for me just for this purpose. But when Origins came out, we all love the walkers, and I love the fact that we actually got legendary creatures to portray before their spark ignited. So that way we got to build EDH decks out of our favorite walkers, kind of before we got the whole this walker can be used as your general thing. But what I wanted to do with Chandra is I wanted to make it her deck. I mean specifically hers. And what could we do to really embody Chandra Nalar? Well, first I wanted to go with every single Planeswalker that she had. Now, I am missing two. There are 3 cards I actually want for this deck that I don't have. 2 Walkers and 1 Seal of Fire from Jace vs. Chandra. But anyway, we have the very first Chandra. Now, this is from the dual deck Jace vs. Chandra. In Japan, they released the 2 foils as a manga art. A lot of y'all know what this does. It's still plain Jane Chandra Nalar, the very first one. But I love this art, and it is this art only available in, this language. So, them's the apples. Of course, we have Chandra Ablaze, Chandra Flamecaller, Chandra Pyrogenius, Chandra the Firebrand. So the other 2 I'm actually missing. So I thought, well, that's a pretty good start, but wait a minute. Doesn't she have a lot of possessive cards? Cards that are hers, like Chandra's Fury, Chandra's Ignition, Outrage, Phoenix, Pyrohelix, Chandra's Revolution, Chandra's Spitfire. How about Oath of Chandra? I mean, since we are, in fact, playing with, Chandra Planeswalkers, then that got me to thinking, well, what else could we've exhausted the type and the name, so there are some cards where she is in the art, where she is not specifically referenced. We all know this is Chandra, and let's face it, we all know this is Chandra. But she's not specifically referenced on the cards, even though that is pictures of her. Just like Flame Lash. This is my warm-up. I love her kind of smart-ass kind of attitude that she has. That she don't care. She will just set you on fire. Now, she's, historically speaking, she's not the strongest walker they've ever made. I think they've gone through many, many iterations to get to a playable one. Bless her heart. She's a good Planeswalker, just R&D has this thing against her. That's all I know to say. But we have a lot of cards where she is referenced in the flavor text. Impressive. Collective Defiance, she's in the art. Used to jets of flame to lure Hellions into the path of oncoming Eldrazi. I mean, some of this flavor text is just absolutely awesome. Which do you think is a better deterrent? A mode of water or one of fire? I know what I'm not going in. Crater Eyes. Utterly is my favorite way to destroy something. Obnixilis had prepared for every eventuality except Chandra Nalar. Let's see if we can get a little better on our focus there. Exquisite Firecraft. Chandra's gifts set her apart, and others aflame. Fall of the Titans. As Gideon kept the broad lineage at bay, Chandra incinerated the bound Eldrazi Titans. Flames of the Firebrand. You're in luck. I brought enough to share. Foundry of the Consuls. All around the Foundry, automatons unhitched themselves from their moments and pivoted to face Chandra. Furious Reprisal. Now that's the Chandra I've been waiting to see. Gotta love Lily too, because Lily's kind of got that edge too. And apparently in one of these latest sets, they become besties. I don't know. For freedom, for fame, for fire. The Renegade Firebrand, while it references, specifically a Chandra Planeswalker, so kind of had to do that one. Hungry Flames. In the hold of the heart of Kieran, Chandra answered Dovin Bane's sabotage with an explosive retort. Really like it. Love it a lot. See, this deck was actually not even possible until Aether Revolt, because, Origins gave us some cards, but and then Kaladesh is when I really, really started going heavy with it, because, man, all the pieces were there. All of them. Incendiary Flow. What's your plan, Gideon asked. That right there is proof that Gideon does not know Chandra. Like she has ever had a plan. Her plan is set shit on fire. Inferno Elemental. Those who wish to invade our monastery, please take it up with my servant. It's kind of funny until you realize her servant is fire. Magma Rift. Lighting a fire needs kindling and heat. You be the kindling. I'll bring the heat. Pyroclasm. Who'd want to ignite things one at a time? Now, the Pyromancer's Goggles and the Pyromancer's Gauntlet is... This one here, have a buddy of mine who absolutely loves Jay Ballard. Hates that they made the card before they made Walkers. But this flavor text here, when they previewed this flavor text, he just posted this card and said, this is all that matters. Jay Ballard and Chandra Nalaar, two of the most notorious red planeswalkers. I mean, perpetually red. There's planeswalkers that are, kind of red aligned, like Sarkin and whatever, but no, these two are red. So I did put the Pyromancer's equipment, as it were, their gear, even though it's not equipment. Ravaging Blaze. In time, not even fire monks could keep up with Chandra. Hell yeah. I like it here. You always get a little more for your mana. That's pretty much what Zendikar is. The dual decks Incinerate, because this is the only Incinerate with her on it. Who said there are no assurances in life? I assure you, this is going to hurt. Seismic Shudder. The land here seems to go out of its way to kill you. It's like Australia. Even the very land is trying to kill you. Hang on. I'm just tidying up. Now, bridging into that, I was kind of running a little thin, so I needed some other cards. So I thought, well, it's Chandra. We've pretty much taken place solely on Kaladesh and, a few other planes, but we got her and Mom. Now, I love the path they're taking with Red, to where, because Red's all about emotion. It's not just about anger and impulsiveness, but it's about emotion. And it doesn't always have to be, that emotion doesn't always have to be anger. So I really like this card showing, I feel like this is more or less the transition, not just in a story point, but in a history of Magic point. This card right here is the transition into, we're going to start seeing something else from Red. theme-wise. Maybe not gameplay-wise, but it's going to represent something else. But obviously, this shows her and Mom. And, Mom's got her own card. And then, well, Mom and Dad had their own card in Origins there. And then it wasn't until Ether Revolt that Dad got his own card in a kind of sort of way. What really got me is, all right, here's something that a lot of people didn't get. Okay, Heart of Kieran. To the best of my understanding, this is essentially his coffin or memorial or something like that. Now, this card is just absolutely dripping with flavor. Heart of Kieran is the most flavorful card I've ever, maybe in the entire Ether Revolt set. Because you crew it. Now, here. It crews for 3, right? Pia and her Thopter is 3. Are you with me? Also, when it is crewed, what does it become? It becomes a Sarah Angel. And a lot of people didn't get that. A 4/4 flying vigilant. Dad turns into an angel. I'll admit, my heart skipped a beat when I realized this. Back in the preview season, I was just blown away. The flavor here is outstanding. So, that's pretty much it for Dad. But we do have a few more Mom cards. Obviously, Mom had her own revolution. FYI, it was fairly successful. Mom's noted in a lot of flavor text, obviously here, and then, of course, the story spotlight card, Fateful Showdown. The head Judge Tezzeret. Somehow that just does not seem fair to me. Welding Sparks. Sparks of Creativity. Obviously, it's not a duplicate. I just had to get. Now, also, I figured that we would have places in Chandra, because I tried to stay true to the Chandra deck, the Chandra mentality of she would have places in her homeland, like the Ore, or the Ether Hub, the Spire of Industry. She would have these things. Now, that is where I have completed so far. I have got 10 or 11 cards here that are not specifically hers, but they kind of, Lightning Strike, it kind of fits. And I figure these cards will eventually get replaced with more Chandra story cards. I mean, let's face it, the Justice League is in full effect, and they are printing cards around them like there's no tomorrow. So I figure, 5, 6 more sets, I'll have enough to replace these. Comet Storm. Now, I can't think of a more Chandra-ish card on this planet other than an ultimate Rain of Fire. Of course, every red mage has to have a lightning bolt. The Fire Servant actually kind of works well with the theme, as does the Ember Maw Hellion, the Hellkite, Fiery Impulse, Inferno Titan, decent card, the Mage Ring, Mana Flare. A lot of our cards do tend to be a little pricey. And then the Young Pyromancer, which is, from the looks of this, it looks like a maybe an artist rendition of a young Chandra that would be, because the red hair, the goggles, I mean, it just looks like it's supposed to be young Chandra. Anyway, that is what me and Chandra have got for you today. She's our girl. We appreciate you watching. And as always, like, subscribe, and only you can prevent forest fires.